Hi, I'm Rachel, and welcome to my NaNoWriMo 2025 Week 2 vlog. I'm in a little bit of a weird conundrum here, because actually, when it comes to my word count, I'm doing pretty well, but for everything else, it seems like I'm falling behind. This seems to be the trouble with having too much time on your hands, which is so embarrassing that I hate to even admit it. But, ever since this furlough started, I've just been scrambling to try to get through a bunch of my reading and writing goals. And even though I am actually making the word count with my nano rebelliousness, I've been scrambling to keep on top of some deadlines. Although, hopefully now I'm finally at the end of them, or at the end of some significant ones, now that I have my October literary newsletter up and have finished my book reviews for October and my reading for October. Hopefully this means good things going forward, because I would like to get these vlogs out quicker and, also post things that I want to post, online quicker. And of course, I do want to continue with the revision of my fantasy novel chapters. I think in some ways it can be as difficult to face a lack of structure as it is to be too structured. I'm sure I have more sympathy on my side when I go back to work and I have a lot of other stuff on my plate that is competing with writing and reading and so forth time. But that's how the cookie is crumbling now, and all I can do is hopefully move forward and, keep on top of all of this reading and writing I want to do for Nano, and hopefully also keep my head abreast of the word count as well. Questionably embarrassing fact I realized about myself, first during the COVID shutdown and now during the government shutdown, is how much, when I'm out of work, I center my daily routine around visits to the grocery store. It's grounding. So this quesadilla number recently came onto the market and I am obsessed. Yum! Good morning! It is day 8 of NaNoWriMo, and it is also a Saturday, which means this afternoon is a writer's salon day. And I think I am going to go ahead and try to tackle my next chapter in my fantasy novel revisions. That would be chapter 7, which I think I'm going to probably combine with the next chapter, which is a little ironic because last year at this time I was writing so much that I was splitting up chapters, and now it's like I have to go close the doors again. I don't know. I wrote out some notes for myself last month to see about, what I'm going to cut and what I'm going to put together. There's, I think, a lot of craziness and nonsense in this particular set of chapters, but I'm glad I have a little bit of a blueprint. Hopefully that will help me out and I will see good returns today. Usually I read a craft book closer to the end of NaNoWriMo, but this year I decided to read it closer to the beginning just because this is so apropos for the fact that I am revising my novel and Peter Ho Davies has written about revision. That being said, this is not really a book that is geared toward the nuts and bolts. It is a more literary contemplation of what it means to revise. Some of it really has more to do with comparing different stories and different authors more than, sitting down with the nitty-gritty of, revising your own work. And a lot of it really does center on literary short stories rather than other forms of writing. Although I do appreciate, in a way, getting beyond the marketing aspect. That's some of the beauty of the literary approach, is that there's something that's a little more raw and real about it, and less catered toward a manufactured experience, which might be, just ignoring the man behind the curtain, that, obviously novels are manufactured. But I love, contemplating the deeper meaning of, what it means to write and have a message to say. So anyway, some of this won't be directly applicable to my process this month, and some will. And I'll be contemplating and going through that. Good morning. It is day 10 of Nano. It is a Monday. Once again, I can't go into work yet. The furlough continues. Outside, there is construction noise. I thought I'd keep in for ambiance, and also I still should start my day. One of the big things I do want to do today is I have to critique some submissions from my online beta reading group. We've been, going strong, or, meeting pretty regularly for the last 3 years, and, we share submissions with one another. And I have, they're the ones who've read the entirety of my first draft of my fantasy novel. And I'm debating if, what I'm going to do next, because most of us, we've all shared novels with one another, but by and large, we haven't shared revised drafts again, or at least not the entirety of the novel again. But for the foreseeable future, I don't know if I'll be working on anything else, because I think the revisions will take a while on this, given my track record. And in general, if I do stop to, maybe write some short fiction again, which I'd like to do, most of the short fiction I write is literary general short fiction, and this is a science fiction fantasy group. So I'm not sure what's going to happen, except that, I don't have to submit anything. I mean, I can still just participate because, we're a group together and supporting each other. So, maybe that's just what it's going to be for a while. I guess I'll play it by ear for the future. But for now, that's what I'm going to do. I just have other people's work to read and speak about. And then later tonight, I will be going to my other writing group, the DC Writer Salon, just for a regular write-in session. And I will be tackling Chapter 8, which previously I thought I might merge with Chapter 7 because they are both pretty short, but now I'm not quite so sure. I do feel like maybe the ending of Chapter 7 is like a good place to stop, a da-da-da moment. So I might not merge them after all, but I do need to go forward. I'm going into a specific subplot of my book that needs a significant amount of work, so I guess that's good, because that gives me something meaty to dig into for Nano and for all the words I need to write. So anyway, yes, I'll, ultimately be taking you along with me again to the Writer Salon. I just got out of my beta reading group's online meeting where we spent an hour and a half or so talking about a couple of short stories that we'd written, and then spent the rest of the time, maybe another hour, talking about, random TV shows and stuff like that. It was actually pretty fun. I tend to now see these folks like once every couple of months, and it's kind of nice to check in with both what we're writing, but also other geek culture stuff. And so as we were going through it, I thought maybe I could possibly, for our next meeting, go ahead and submit the chapters I'm revising now, even though they've read previous chapters, or previous versions of these chapters in the past. And in general, we haven't been resharing a lot of stuff with each other, but I do think I'm making significant-ish enough changes to the work, maybe, that it's something new, or, something I could, use help with, or I don't know. I guess once again, I think I already said that, I'm not sure what else I could share with them, because this is basically it. This is my hyper focus when it comes to fiction writing, is trying to get through the revisions. And I think so far I'm feeling pretty good that, things are actually moving faster than they did during the first drafting phase, which I'm not sure they could move any slower. It's really about, dedicating the time, and that, of course, is the beauty of Nano. So I'm returning to Novel November for another recently published webinar, kind of keeping in line with the idea of social groups and writing, although this one I believe gears more towards writers who are using platforms like Wattpad to disseminate their stories, like chapter by chapter, and build up reader communities almost immediately. And my trajectory is more traditional, or modernly traditional, I should say, because, back in the day, plenty of writers like Dickens used newspapers to serially publish novels. But my trajectory is a little different from this, but I feel like there could be some interesting overlap, some interesting things to learn, and definitely a different sort of webinar than the usual that I put on here, so I figured I'd go ahead and wrap up with this. And hopefully we will learn new things along the way.
All right, let's integrate community into your writing routine so it's easy for you and it's not going to take a lot of time. And I'm going to hopefully be able to show you guys how to apply this immediately so you can turn your stories into ongoing reader experiences. So again, releasing on a specific cadence or a specific schedule is really important to keep readers moving together in real time. Readers bond very, very strongly with each other when they experience a story together. So that's reacting, theorizing, anticipating, side by side, and with each other. And if you don't do serials, that's fine. If you are releasing completed books, make sure that you create them as events. I think we'll get into that in a second. But having a specific cadence where you say, hey, I can release 4 books a year. They're going to be released on January 1st, April 1st, so on and so on. So that your readers are expecting, to read all together at that specific time. A couple of ways to do this is consistency over volume. You do not have to, a common mistake, especially with serials, is I just have to release content after content after content. It's more about being consistent and being reliable. So if I say I'm going to release a chapter serialized every Monday at 5 p.m., I better have a chapter out every Monday at 5 p.m. Because that is going to build trust. You can also use cliffhangers very strategically. This works well between books or between chapters. And this is going to help you keep your engagement high or keep your engagement more predictable. And it lets you grow your audience more habitually rather than kind of like sporadically from like a book release here and a book release there, whatever it might be. Because your readers are going to return out of rhythm and not because you're reminding them to return. Inserted moments. We want to build shared language and loyalty into our stories. So communities really thrive on inside jokes and callbacks and even secrets. And this is what is going to turn your casual readers into your insiders or your super fans that build your fandom and your community. We want, you can think of these experiences or this specifically as if you know, you know. And if you don't know, you don't know because you haven't read my story or you haven't read this story or you don't know about this character, but if you read it, you would. You'd get this joke, you'd get this secret. How to apply this? We have Easter eggs, callbacks, and shared language too. So let your community shape its own vocabulary. Maybe that could be nicknames for characters or ship names if you have a romance, whatever it might be. Because fans who feel like they're, quote unquote, in on it, become your like most vocal fans, they're going to pull new readers into your world, and they're going to talk on social media like they're part of the secret fan club, because they are. And when other readers who are not into you yet or know about you yet see that people are talking about you and these worlds with this shared secret language, they're gonna want in on it too.